My next guest was known as Bernie Schwartz to the kids he fought with in the back streets of New York. He grew up, combed his hair, changed his name, and became one of Hollywood's greatest stars with more than 100 films to his credit. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm delighted to welcome Tony Curtis.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I thought I'd wear my chapeau tonight.
I must ask you, who shot Bobby Ewing?
Well, it's got nothing to do with that lousy TV series.
You're one of that great line, of course, the studio made stars. What was it like, then, to be the property of the studio?
I was never the property of any studio. I worked for a studio.
They wanted to make you one, didn't they?
No, I wanted to make me one. How do you think I got there in the first place?
But they treated you, I mean, they've made you into the sex symbol and...
No, they didn't do that. I did that. Nothing to do with the studio. The studio is just a means. The medium is the message, you know? Films were there. You know, I wanted to be in pictures. And I aimed my life in that direction from the time I was born. First movies I saw were flickers on the screen. And I never forgot that. And I felt that I always wanted to be in the movies. And I'm one of the most privileged men in the world because that's exactly where I ended up.
Well, you were a sex symbol. It was your idea. And
It certainly was.
You had a haircut that everybody wanted to have as well, the Tony Curtis haircut. Is it true, though, that you were given away in a competition?
Yes. When I first started in movies, the movie magazines used to have contests in which they'd say, win Tony Curtis for a weekend. Write a paragraph on what you think Hollywood is wonderful, why Hollywood is wonderful. And they had second prizes and third prizes. They'd have a refrigerator and a washing machine.
No, at least you were the first prize.
A pair of rubber gloves. Yeah, right. Well, this woman won me in Walla Walla, Washington. And she was really pissed off. I was to spend the weekend with her and her family. And she was just so disappointed. I mean, I could tell by her behavior. She was rude. And I said, I hope I'm not doing anything wrong. She says, it's got nothing to do with you. She said, but I wanted that washing machine.
You arrived in Hollywood, then, from the Bronx, a guy with not a lot of education.
No.
How easy was it for them to transform you into a smooth Hollywood star?
They had nothing to do with it.
How easy was it for you to transform
yourself? It wasn't easy. Listen, we all are creations of ourselves.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Don't you see? It doesn't make any difference what you're born. It's what you create of yourself. Yeah. The name you give yourself. The image you have of yourself. You're the one that provokes it, you know? And to me, that's the joy and the creativity of being a human being, is the human condition. So, whatever you want to be, that's what you can be. You want to be a mathematician, great. A hairdresser, great. You want to be beautiful, ugly, short, whatever you want. You take whatever capacity and ability you have as a human being, and you make it work for you.
And you were determined to be a film star?
I was determined to improve myself. My profession, making movies, is only a means to another end for me, and that is to self-improve, educate myself. And I have educated myself, and I continue to do.
Would you have been as happy to be a doctor, then?
I'm not happy, so it doesn't make any difference one way or the other.
Would you have been as miserable as a doctor?
Well, I'm not miserable either, but a doctor, it depends on your intelligence and background and education. I left school when I was 11. I learned a little reading, writing, and arithmetic. After that, I learned my knowledge in the streets of New York. And then I picked up, as I got into movies, I picked up an education in a lot of fields that I loved, you know? And so I'm well-versed, perhaps, in a number of, subjects. But that's only because of what I've wanted to improve with myself. And I'm constantly doing that. One accomplished task gives you the privilege to try another one. You know, and you get better and better and better at it.
But you were a rough kid from the Bronx when you went to Hollywood. Was there a set of people who you had to ingratiate yourselves with? Did they accept you?
Well, I wasn't accepted, but I certainly tried to ingratiate myself with everybody I met. I wanted to be a gentleman, well-mannered, you know, because I wanted to be successful in the movies, and I felt that the best way to do that is to be well-mannered and a gentleman and, you know, behave yourself properly. And toward that end, I, you know, dedicated myself.
The critics said rough things. Do you think you deserve that?
Yes. But they don't know. Critics don't know nothing. Critics should not have jobs. They shouldn't be paid 250 quid a week to write about movies that cost 50 million pounds and then tell you how bad it is. You know what I feel? I feel that there are 5 people in this audience that should be chosen every month from all over England. And these 5 people of different walks of life should become the critics for that month. And they should review movies. A butcher's going to take another look at a movie than some...
Yeah?
Forget it. Sitting in some office, half drunk, getting paid by the studios to go to see the movies, and then bum-rapping anything and everything. So I think the system is wrong.
Can I ask the girls what they think about it? I mean, you take some knocks as a writer.
Oh, absolutely. But I think critics are frustrated, you see. I think that when they criticize films, they really want to be directors or actors. When they criticize books, I mean, in their desk, they have a few unfinished manuscripts. And it's very easy to criticize.
And a half bottle of bourbon.
Of course, or a full bottle.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you know, what do you think, Pamela?
Actually, I think the public can be just as critical. I mean, I was once doing a live chat show, a live phone-in program, and this woman rang up and she said, "I used to think that your impersonation of Princess Anne was needlessly cruel and unpleasant. Until seeing you now, I realised they were, in fact, your own teeth."
Well, I had a man that rang me up on a live phone-in, and he said, "I read your book. I think it's absolutely disgusting. Disgusting." I said, "Well, why did you read it? It's not exactly a secret that I write about sex." And he said, "Well," he said, "I said to the librarian, do you have something with big print?" So he gave me your book.